Just shut the fuck up when grown folks is talking.
What up, world? It's your boy, Coolie, man.
You got acquitted chief in the building.
And y'all know what it is. It's time to plug them headphones in, put the kids to bed, and let's begin to listen. It's grown-ups talk. Today we're gonna talk about when they see us. That's right, when they see us, we had to do it. We're gonna talk about the ins, the outs, and everything around it. Let's go.
What up, world? What's going on with y'all?
What up, AK?
What's good, Coolie? What's good?
Shit, I can't call it, man. I can't call it. I can't wait to talk about this one.
Word. Me neither.
But y'all know what it is, man. This part of the show is dedicated to you, to our fans, our supporters, our listeners. Everybody fucking with us on Mondays as we drop these audios, and everybody fucking with us on Wednesdays as we drop these visuals. It takes a special type of you to appreciate a special type of us, and we appreciate that.
Facts. You already know the motto.
Huh?
Like, share, and follow.
Huh?
If you didn't do it.
Do it.
Tell a friend and do that shit again.
And y'all stop acting all fucking stink. If you on Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere where you could put our name in the search engine.
What to do, Coolie?
I need y'all to hit that motherfucking link.
Let's get it.
Hey, yo, listen, man. I know y'all seen the menu that just went up. I mean, if y'all didn't, y'all need to get on it. You feel me? I need y'all right now to go to Instagram, and I need y'all to hit up Catch a Vibe 2. I need y'all to hit up the Queens of Edibles. You know what I mean? See what the vibe is like. Catch a vibe. You feel me? And then I need y'all to head right on over to Bart's Barbershop, Lane's Barbershop, over there on Congress Ave. I need y'all to go get right. Fellas, go get right. You feel me? Tell them Grown Ups Talk send you. Tell them Maine send you. You feel me? And then I need y'all to go from there right over to 631 Middletown Ave, Middletown Cafe, because I need y'all to take the nightcap right there. I need y'all to go up in there, catch some of those good vibes. Know what I mean? Get in there, party with some of them good people over there. Shout out to Ski Boy, the whole squad. Again, that's 631 Middletown Ave, Middletown Cafe, where it's always a good time. It's always grown and sexy, and it always is what it is. Let's go, y'all.
Get it.
Hey, yo, I want take the time real quick just to shout out everybody that been, really giving us the support, really shouting us out, showing us the love. Know what I mean? We appreciate it, man. Everybody that's been up here thus far, everybody that we got planned to be up here, know what I mean? We appreciate y'all. We definitely gonna keep this thing rocking. Thank y'all for your support, man. I just gotta say it. I know I said it in the beginning, but yeah, thank y'all.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I know everybody buzzing. I know your other favorite podcast probably gonna talk about it. I know everybody already talking about it. But we gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about when they see us. We gotta talk about this because it affects all of us, man.
Yeah,
it affects all of us. For me, I was a kid. AK, he ain't older than me, so he was a kid too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one point we always kids.
No, but we for majority
when this happened.
Yeah, when this happened, not the documentary, but when the actual incident occurred.
April 19th, 1989.
1989, yeah. We all were kids, so we didn't really know what was going on. So for a lot of us, this is like a vision of what was going on. This is a piece of reality brought to our screens. So yeah, like I said, it's only right that we talk about it, man.
Nah, absolutely. This right here, I don't know if it was you or if it was someone I heard on the radio, but just saying that this movie to us as black people is like a horror movie. It's more of a thriller than you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the shit was hard to watch at times and shit. Right. Then when pushed through it and had me heartfelt.
Because it hits so many different emotions, bro. So many different emotions. Because you put yourself in the seat of the teenager being interrogated just for wanting to go and have a little fun and a part and just be around, not even being active in what was going on, just being around, being on the scene. Like, then you put yourself in the seat of the parents. Then it's like you just put yourself in, like, you can see how that shit can go. Like, I mean, we've been that young. I mean, we've been out in the scene and on the blocks, like, the same way. Like, I mean, just always around when shit going down, or, I mean, just always around the popping crowd. Like, I mean, it was always there. So we know that type of feel. We could put ourselves in those shoes of just being around when some shit happened. Like, I mean, but the injustice that it turned out to be, bruh.
You know, it's really no excuse. My question to you, I guess, would be, do you think, I know some people, excuse me. Yeah, excuse me.
Hard-working man.
Yeah, man.
He got off the
man.
job, came to the career. We know, we understand.
Long day today, Coolie. So, will you say that, it was not worth the time for the amount that they got paid, but was they compensated for the time that they served? Just,
Now, to keep it a buck, I can't really tell, because we don't know what their career aspirations were. We don't know what they was gonna turn out to be had this situation not have happened. For one or two of them, this might be the most money they ever was gonna get in their lifetime. Like, you feel me? Be it a lump sum or over that stretch of years. These 30 years that it's been since it happened.
Right.
But I don't think no quantity of money can make up for time.
Well, absolutely. I
You feel
agree.
me? And that might be just, that's a political answer to some people, but that's an honest answer. Like, I really don't, because you don't know. They could have made way more money than that. Like, you feel me? Like, because they basically got $1 million for every year served by them collectively, not for each person. Like, I mean, not like, oh, you serve 6.5, oh, you get 6.5 mil, or you serve 13, you get 13 mil. Like, collectively, like, I mean, it was and that's what they broke it down like that. But after lawyer fees and all of that, like, they don't get the equivalent. Like, you feel me?
Yeah, I know Corey Wise got the most.
Yeah, because he served the most time. Like, so from the way they was talking about it, from a couple of the interviews I was seeing, they broke it down that way. Like, whoever served the most time got the most money. That's like, you got your money according to the time. But I still say that they could have possibly made way more, or they could have made way less. It doesn't make up for the time lost, though, because they could have had families early in life. They could have did mad shit. Like,
No, true.
They could have did mad different shit with their life.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and put this out there, because I don't think we clarified for those who haven't seen the movie, don't even haven't seen the special, don't even know what it's about.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I mean,
we
just
caught it before we got too deep.
Yeah, we just jumped straight into it. So
you're right.
The case is called Central Park 5. It's about 5 Black and Latino teenagers that was out one night, goofing around, playing in the park, and coincidentally, a woman jogging, a 28 woman jogging, was raped and brutally beaten that night. And when the police rounded it, all the little kids that was in the park that night, and they did they sweep and everything, they came up with these 5. I don't know if you knew, but it was originally 7.
I know that.
Yeah, Stephen Lopez and Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Steve Lopez, he pleaded guilty to another charge in the park,
and ended up getting nothing.
Right, towards this case. And Clarence Thomas, he just had no charges pending. Period.
Right.
So but yeah, the five, Corey Wise, who was 16 when it happened, Raymond Santana was 14 when it happened, Kevin Richardson was 14 when it happened, Antron McCray was 15 when it happened, and Yusuf Salam 15 when it happened. So these 5 boys were wrongfully accused,
coerced into giving up their statements to say that they were a part of the crime. And when you watch the documentary, you'll see that the actual rape took place in a different location in the park than the location that they were actually captured in or actually found in when the police came through to arrest all the kids for horseplaying or, as they quote unquote said, wilding out in the park.
So, with the police statements being coerced and there was no physical evidence whatsoever, no DNA, right? It obviously was someone to pin a tail on the donkey that night, or for that case, and these young black teenagers and Latino teenagers right, wrong place, wrong time. Now, of course, it's a lot, I guess, deeper than that. Goes on. Yeah. But that's just the gist of it. So,
right. Because it was the lady that I forgot the lady that was the head of the sex crime. I forgot her name.
The head of the DA.
Yeah.
Her name, I got her name right here. Linda Fierstein.
Yeah, Linda Fierstein. She was just basically. It was at that time of the year. It was almost 4,000 rapes and assaults.
I got that.
You got the facts.
I got the
facts. Bro with the facts.
Yeah, so
shout out, bro.
For the first half of that year, it was 837 murders were reported. 1,600 rapes, more than 43,000 robberies, and 34,000 assaults, according to the New York Times.
Right.
Now, for today's comparison, in 2019, according to the NYPD CompStat data, it's what 103 murders, 706 rapes, 4,400 robberies, and 7,400 felonies, and that's way less than half of what it was in 1989. So that's no excuse for her to be blaming people, but it was a lot going on.
Because at that point, when this crime took place, it was pushing the agenda of let's start making some of these people pay the consequences. Let's make an example out of these kids. We got kids that was in the park, period, at the time. Let's make them confess that they did it. Let's push them into confessing, even though they were nowhere close to where it was going on. Like, you feel me?
Mm-hmm. No, that's that shit had a nigga chipped up. We could talk about Linda.
Linda, listen.
Crazy.
Listen,
Linda.
Now she, off of this case alone, like, she had books out at the time. She was an author at the time. Mm-hmm. But off of this case, she became, the head of a lot of nonprofit organizations. She's currently teaching at Columbia University. She's teaching law.
I just read, not to cut you off, Coolie, just read like 3-4 hours ago that was put on the news that her publisher dropped her from the publishing company.
Yeah, a lot of people are disengaging. The thing that I'm taken back by is that this isn't the first time that it's been put out there that these kids were innocent, or now these men were innocent. When they first got, acquitted, when the other inmate came up to Wise and came up to him and told him that, it was me, he went and confessed. They put him through the ringer to prove that it was him. He ended up doing all of that. Like, he proved it, he showed them it was him. And they ended up letting these 5 guys free. Like, you feel me? At the time, Corey was the only one that was still locked up. So Corey ended up coming home off of
Monte Reyes was the actual...
Right, he was known as the East Side Rapist. Because he had, it was the same MO for every rape he was doing. And it was specifics that he was giving in his testimony that nobody but the person that raped the lady at the time would know. Like, you feel me? And so they ended up getting free. And then when Corey ended up coming home, and it ended up coming out that all of them were innocent to begin with, nobody came out and was like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. Nobody came out and wanted to do all of this disengaging from this lady, any of the people that was involved in prosecuting them. Nothing, like nothing. Nobody wanted to come out and say, "Hey, yo, it was our fault. Sorry." I mean, let's like nothing.
You know why? Because I think it was under the light. It wasn't under the light. I mean, like it was still in the shadow. Like even though it was publicized news and newspapers and stuff in the area, local
Right.
news. So
Well, yeah, but that was because I was watching the interview they did with Vlad, right?
Mhm.
So they was talking about it. It was Yusuf and what was the other dude's name? He was 14, the one that the cop hit in the face with the
Kevin Richardson.
yeah, Kevin and Yusuf. When they did the interview with Vlad, they was talking about how there was over 400 articles when they was on trial, when they was being convicted of it. And I mean, it was over 400 articles about how bad they are and all of this and that, just slandering their name through the media to convince the public that they did it. Like, you feel me?
Right.
And then when they were found to be innocent and they already served the time, it was a whisper basically. Like, you feel me? Like it was just on a little article or something like that, or very little articles at all that came out talking about it. Like,
Right, but do you know a lot of the detectives? First of all, the head DA, the detective Michael Sheehan, and Donald Trump, they all believe to this day that the boys are guilty.
yeah,
That I mean that Mateo Reyes was a sixth member, and I mean it was all together, and you know all played a part in it. I mean to this day.
yeah, which is a shame because Donald Trump also took out an article saying that New York should bring back.
And he dropped some bread. I was gonna look that up. So
I think it was like 80,000 or something like that.
Something like
He
that.
put out an article saying bring back the death penalty. That people committing these crimes or whatever need to be faced with the death penalty and all that, and basically was in the press. I mean, on TV, talking as if these young teenagers were animals and they need to be put to
that's
death.
exactly how they was treated, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, sitting in an interrogation room for 42 hours, no bathroom breaks, no eating, like I mean, no
Nothing.
type of
Starving, no sleep, no nothing.
Straight through,
Right,
straight
right.
through.
Interrogating the kids when their parents not there, no lawyer present, like none of that. Like, you feel me? Like,
Totally illegal.
all right. So it was an officer, right? He used to be an officer. He on YouTube. I don't remember his name, and even if I did, I wouldn't shout it out because he ain't gonna get no love off of us. Like, he ain't gonna get no clout off of us. But he was on YouTube and he was saying how he was gonna expose this whole documentary and how this was all one-sided and how that the kids when they got arrested they was giving up the statements in the car. They were saying, "Oh, it wasn't me," this and that, like trying to poke holes into what was being viewed in the Netflix documentary, right? But what, like the whole time, first of all, he's an ex-cop, so he already has the oath. He took the oath, and no matter if he's still on or not, he's gonna be true to that oath. Like, I mean, and he's saying he interrogated people before. He knows when people are lying. He could tell, like, oh, when you listen to them talk about the incident or the crime being committed, that they were giving up details and stuff that nobody was asking for. They was talking about specifics and all this and that. Bruh, he put the link in the description of Corey Wise testimony tape, like the confession tape. So you look, if you watch the tape, it's the original tape, and you can see him looking into the background, looking for names, looking for hints, looking for the right thing to say. Like, you can tell he's being coached on what to say, what name to say, who to say, what took place. And it's even parts in the tape where, like, the lady suffered two crucial brain, like, skull fractures. She suffered skull fractures, so she was bleeding profusely through her head. Like, I mean, so her clothes was drenched. She had on a white shirt by the time they got to her and got the shirt and her clothes. Her shirt was burgundy, like it was dark red when they brought her in court. Everything had blood all over it. Mm-hmm. They asked Corey what was she bleeding, where was she bleeding from. He said her legs. She was bleeding from her head, bro, from the injury to her head. She wasn't bleeding from her legs. Like, you feel me? Like, it's mad. If you watch his, you could watch Kevin's. Like, you could see that they looking in the background. You could see that they being told what to say. You could tell that they just want to get it over. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy that even after being proven innocent, even after the lawsuit, that people still want to come out and try to debunk them being innocent. Like, it's sickening, man. It's sickening.
No, yeah, it's just sad, bro. Because I mean, if the evidence clearly points elsewhere, and someone is clearly telling you, I mean, what happened, that there was the only culprit in to commit the crime. They give you the actual details, the details that really no one would know.
How long he was following her, what he did when he first got to her, how he drug her. Like,
now, those are details that the kids will be thrown together if they had anything to do with it.
Right.
Those are the truthful details. Like, I mean, them guessing colors of joggers, clothing, and you know how many joggers they probably walked past and came across that night?
Bruh, Kevin, they asked Kevin what color shirt she had on. I think it was either Kevin or Corey. They said, what color shirt did she have on? It was Kevin.
It was Kevin.
It was Kevin. Yeah. And he said, black. She had on a white shirt, bro. Like, he couldn't even really describe. Like, if you watch it, you'll see that he describes her outfit, but it's wrong. It's not what she was actually wearing when when the crime happened. Like, it's crazy. I'm trying to gather all my thoughts because.
No, it's cool. Shit. You what you think about Elizabeth Lederer? That's the lead prosecutor that was in the whole thing. Like she was getting ready to have a change of heart in the whole thing. She
knew the whole time. Like so my thing for that cop that put up the ex-cop that put up the YouTube video, right? He's talking about how this documentary is one-sided. It's all one-sided. Oh, it's just to play on your emotions. A lot of people saying that that because the Obamas are part of Netflix, there's a lot of racial shows and movies and shit being put on Netflix, and this is a perfect example of it and all that. But you got to understand that when they got proven to be innocent, they went, they fought, they got their lawsuit, they got their payment, all of that, and there was a documentary done before this. Nobody was saying nothing. There was no major press on this shit. Now that there's actual major press and people are actually paying attention, especially in the climate that we in today, now you want to say, oh, it's one-sided. Well, how about this? Their side of the story was never fully taken seriously. Nobody was really listening to their side of the story. So now that it's a big smack in the face, now everybody wants to say, oh, but it's only one-sided. We heard 400 plus
It was one-sided in
articles.
1989.
Right.
That's when it was one-sided. When they sentenced them to do time in jail, it was one-sided.
Exactly, bro.
They couldn't get they side out. Now that it's out, they out of jail, niggas want, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like 400 plus articles outside. That's articles written, not news. News. Presses coming out on your screen. Donald Trump at the time in the press on your TV, CNN, every local news station, national, like all of that. We ain't even including that. We just talking about articles written. 400 plus articles written telling the other side of the story. Now that they get to tell their side of the story, oh, it's unfair, it's not right, it's one-sided. When it was telling their side, you ain't want to hear it. Now that it's so brutal and it's so honest and it's in your face, now you got a problem with it. Where the fuck, like, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, yo. To me now, if you never seen bullshit, that's bullshit.
Yeah, the thing is, man, they don't really care until, you know, they the ones looking bad, or they the ones hurt, or they the ones that got the shoes on their feet.
Right.
So, I mean, once you telling the world, hey, they made a mistake. It's like, oh no, we can't have that type of energy out there because
right.
I mean we don't make mistakes
right.
for one.
Right.
You know what I mean? If people think that we make mistakes, it's gonna probably be other people searching and trying to dig and you know what I mean, you know, is you know how it go, what's the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
you have a whole Me Too movement with the innocence of people being innocently accused. So, I mean, I think that's what they fear.
Yeah,
or
like,
somewhat of what they fear.
And just on some statistics, I was just reading an article 2 days ago. If you combine all of the years that was either served or sentenced out to people who were wrongly accused or convicted of crimes like these or crimes, period, that they have not committed, it's 20,000 years. 20,000 years, bro. That people are either serving or have yet to serve, that has been sentenced out, that of people who are innocent, who have not committed the crime, but they're being forced to do the time. Like, that's crazy. Like, what is our justice system?
That's ridiculous. What justice system?
Like, where is the justice?
It's just us.
and crazy enough it is, because when you look at shit like this, like, right, so I was looking up, researching, doing some shit. I hit AK up with some notes that I wanted him to keep, because, you know, we record the video on my phone, so I couldn't look at my phone at the same time. But to know that the district attorney and the prosecutors are absolutely immune for wrongful convictions. Meaning they cannot be sued for this shit. They can sue the state. They can sue whoever else they want to that they want to sue. But they cannot sue the prosecutor or the district attorney. They is nothing that they can do. They can walk around here convicting everybody or wrongfully convicting everybody, and nothing will happen to them. Nothing. You can't do nothing to them. They won't be. You can't bring them up on charges, and you can't sue them for nothing. And that's because of a 1961 case of Embler and Patchman. So basically, Embler versus Patchman, right? So there was in Los Angeles there was 2 robberies that took place, right? 2 weeks apart. 2 men walked into the store, robbed a store. Got away with it. Went on about their way. 2 weeks later, 30 miles away, 3 men robbed another store, and they killed somebody in the store. So one of the men from the first robbery decides to turn themselves in. So when they turn themselves in, they ended up getting the crime of the murder that happened 30 miles away in an area he was never at. He had people to testify. He could prove that he wasn't there. None of the DNA evidence, nothing stated or put him in that place or says that he did the crime. Mm-hmm. The DA knew it. The prosecutor knew it. The judge knew it. Everybody knew it. They could not pin this charge on this man, but they did it anyway. They locked him up. They sentenced him to the death penalty, right? So while he was in there, he just kept fighting. He kept fighting. So 1976, he goes to court. He gets to prove that it wasn't him. All of the lies that they put on the paperwork, everything that they put down to pin the crime on him, he debunks it, right? Him and his lawyer goes in there, they fight for his freedom, he wins the case, he gets out. Now he goes to sue the prosecutor and the district attorney, and when he went to go sue, the judge ruled, and they ended up making it a law from this point forward, that you cannot sue the district attorney or the prosecutor. They will not be held accountable for that. You did your time. It was reversed. You're free to go.
So what about did they at least tell him that he could sue the state?
He could. You could sue the state.
Yeah, I know.
You could sue the
Did
state.
the judge at least tell him that?
I don't know. I don't know if the judge told him that. I don't know if he went back to sue the state because I just took that fact.
Right.
That I mean, because of that case right there, that case from 1976, the law was made from that point forward that you can't hold any prosecutor or district attorney accountable for the sentence, be it wrongful or be it if it's proven wrong, you can't. Like, I mean, you could serve 1,000,000 years and live out that sentence to finally be said, you're free. It was wrong, you served 1,000,000 years, blah, 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 you're free to go. And then turn around and say, well, now I want to sue you guys for wrongfully convicting me, and you can't do nothing about it. You can't do a fucking thing about it. So, what's her name, Linda?
Who the prosecutor?
Yeah.
Or, her name is Elizabeth.
No, Elizabeth and Linda.
Elizabeth and Linda.
Neither one of them could be held accountable for that, for what they did.
Ridiculous.
Now you think about Elizabeth, who's still working in the DA's office right now. You think about Linda, who's going on to teach other people how to do law, how to be a lawyer. And this is what she got on her rap sheet. Now, the thing about it is, we can look at this case, but how many other cases, how many other people have either served their time and got out, died while they were in there, serving the time that they was wrongly convicted of, or just think about the severity of it. How many lives has she affected and nobody knows about it? Nothing is being done about it. And even if something is being done where they're giving back their freedom, they're not even free because they're always gonna have that mark on their armor. Like, you feel me? They're always gonna have that they're always gonna be looked at like that. Because like you was just saying, with these 5, they're still looked at as, there's still people that looked at them like, yo, you did it. You just was somehow slick enough, you knew how to maneuver enough to get paid after you got somebody to say that they did it.
That's crazy, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
And then, we didn't even talk about the point or the fact that, Corey Wise wasn't even on the list.
Bro, he wasn't even there. He wasn't even a person of interest.
No, he was there. He was at the park.
No, I'm talking about as far to them, to their knowledge. They didn't even know if he was in the park, no nothing. He wasn't even a person of interest at all. At all. And the fact that they was just like, yo, go to the hood, grab up anybody between this age and this, from 14 to 17, grab them up. Grab them up. Grab them up, we're going to bring them in, we're going to look at them and try to pin this on them. Or see if they got anything, not even, they said see if they got anything to do with it, any knowledge of it or whatever, but we're going to hold them until we can get whatever we can out of them. Like, yo, so you don't even know 100% sure if any of these 5 was actually in the park outside of the ones you caught that night. You just come near, because they didn't catch Yusuf that night. They caught Yusuf on the block in his neighborhood. They just walked up like, yo, come here.
They didn't catch Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine. They ain't catch him either. They had to go to his house and find him because somebody else said that they was with him. Like that. That's the crazy part about it. Like, they didn't have no concrete nothing, but they made the shit stick. And then they edited the tapes when they played it for the jury to make it all. You don't. Unless if back then you was studying the engineering, or you can tell, like, oh, that was an edited tape. You wasn't. You can get. They can get that all day. As we see, they got it past the normal air. Oh, all they played was the question and the answer. Nothing before, nothing after. Just the question and the answer. That was it.
Yeah, that junk is crazy. I just want to put out. It's a statement that I heard, and when I heard it, it resonated because I just seen this movie and everything like that. But I forgot where I seen it on, either on another show, another movie, or something like that. But the dude has said, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. So I mean, if the kids had knew that, first of all, nowadays shit like that ain't gonna fly because every kid in the hood know about the first 48. Right. So I mean, right. You watch that shit, listen. Even if I had something to do with it, if I be quiet for 48 hours, right, they won't let me go. Right. They got no evidence.
Right.
So
you ain't asking me questions because you don't know.
Right.
That's basically the mentality.
Exactly. So now the kids know. Seeing that it was so early in the times, 1989. The kids didn't have that much knowledge as we would have now, but if they would have held together, another thing that I don't know if it's a true fact or if it was just the Netflix when they see us fact, the fact that when Yusuf's mom came to pick up Yusuf, that Corey was still sitting in the waiting room when they walked right past him. Yeah. Instead of, I can understand Yusuf being shaken up or shooken up. Had he would have said, hey, Mom, Corey came with me too to make sure I was all right. Let's make sure he get out, make sure he's right. They would have had a case. Right. Because, it
was all on Corey's testimony. That's what they pinned it on. And the fact, all right, so it's a couple parts that we didn't touch on, right? So the parents part. Anton's father, chose his job over his child's freedom, which is an absolute no. Like, you feel me? Yeah, he had a record. I know in 89, it was crazy because they could not, they could discriminate if you got a record and all that, and you still had to check the box back then, and all of that stuff, right?
Shit, Raymond Santana's father chose his job over interrogation. He chose to not be there too.
I was just about to get to him too. Like, he left his so Anton's father, basically, they came to him and was like, yo, does your job know about your previous history? Does your job know about your rap sheet? And he was like, nah, well, they can find out if you don't go in there and get your son to tell us what we need him to tell us. Like, you feel me? So then he goes in the room, spazzing on his son, like just start flipping. Like, first he started calm, talking to him like, yo, listen, you got to tell them what they need to know so you can go home. Not even taking into consideration, they asking Anton to confess to a rape.
Right. Place yourself in a rape. Whether you had something to do with it or not. Conspiracy.
Yeah, and he telling them, yo, just say whatever you want. Just say whatever they want you to say, so you can come home.
Kind of protecting his own ass, even though, in the long run, his father kind of felt guilty about that shit. Even when he took the stand and everything, because the guilt plea the guilt took effect immediately. Because you see how quick he left the house, even when. They was going through the case or whatever. He left.
Even when he came home, got bonded out and everything. He ain't make he didn't make any court cases. Any court appearances, none. At all, except for the last one where he ended up getting sentenced, and found guilty. That was it. After that, before that, in between all of that, he didn't not one time come in.
Hold his son down.
Not at all.
That's the shit that had me fucked up. Nigga, your son needs you right now more than ever.
Right, yo.
You turn your back on him.
And you the one told him to say whatever they needed him to say to put him in this position. Why wouldn't you be the main person there?
Nah, facts. That shit fuck with Antron, right?
Yeah. Antron's father.
And
Antron too, because to this day.
Right, yeah, because I was about to go read some of the notes. There's a quote that Antron said, that he said, he looked up to his father. He was his hero, but he gave up on, well, this is his words. He's like, he gave up on me. He's like, I was telling the truth, and he just told me to lie. So that shit fucked with him to this day, like this is his words as a grown man,
seen
right?
That same interview.
So
I seen it.
I mean, that shit.
Because in that same interview, they asked him, like, did he ever get a chance to make up with his father? He said, nah. He said, would you, because his father ended up passing or whatever, so he was like, yo, would you want to? Like, would you, if you had the chance, would you still want to? He was like, nah, why? Why would I? And then that's when he said that. He was like, yo, like, I looked up to him, and when I needed him, he walked out on me. Like, you feel me? So why do I owe him anything to make up for, like, or to try to make amends? Like, not at all.
So would you say that's a little bit bullheaded or stubborn? Because you know, players fuck up. People make mistakes. Like his father did what he honestly thought was right. Like I know he ain't gonna put his son in no harm's way purposely, and that don't look like what type of father he was. He looked. It just looked like, you know, at the time, his trouble was big enough to bring everything down, and it kind of shook up his father.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, they say, I mean, in tough times or when the shit hit the fan, that's when you know who's really there. Be it decisions that's made or who's actually standing by your side. So when the shit hit the fan, his father showed his true colors. Like, you feel me?
Well, yeah. Well, of course he
put himself in his situation over his freedom. Like no. he had to go from being a 15-year-old kid going to juvie, turned 16 straight off the prison. Like, you feel me? And had to go see a part of life he should have never had to go see.
Right. So, but the thing is this, you know, do you think he was able to forgive his father for giving him the wrong advice, but not forgiving him for walking out?
I would hope that, I mean, he could forgive him for, I mean,
because it looked that way, because even as a kid, like, he still expected his father to be there.
Yeah, I think
like,
it would have been.
He wasn't holding no grudge.
If he would have just been there, I think he probably would have got over that. Like, you feel me? He probably would have made that amends. Like, hi, Pop. Like, I mean, fuck it. We got in this together. Like, I mean, you helped me get into this, but you gonna help me get through this shit. There's a difference. Like, you feel me? You got me into this shit and left me for dead. Fuck you. Like, you feel me? But if you got me in this shit and you helped me through this shit, we can reconcile somewhere. Like, you feel me? We can make this shit work a different. Like, it to me personally, it'd be easier to accept or to forgive somebody in that. Like, I mean, oh, you got me in a fucked up situation, but you helped me through it. That, I mean, that could be a little bit easier to forgive than, oh, you got me in a fucked up situation, but you left me for dead, bro. What happened? Now that I made it through, now you won't be around. Nah, because now I'm not giving you another chance to put me in another fucked up situation.
Nah, facts.
Shit, fucking, my question is, like, if I ever had the privilege to sit down and talk to these 5 men, I would ask Yusuf and Corey how their relationship is, because Corey was only trying to go to protect or be by his side of his friend.
Right.
Like, you feel me? Well, Yusuf, like, you feel me? And he was just trying to be there. And because, I mean, he was 16, he ended up going off the prison, and right out the gate, as soon as he got sentenced, found guilty, boom, right off the prison. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, and they wasn't keeping contact, they couldn't keep contact through that time. All of this shit transpired, everything happened. He served 13, Yusuf only did 6. Like, all of this happened, like, you feel me? And then Yusuf come out. What is that like? Like, what is that like? Like, all of this time I just spent in, like, did they ever, like, once he got out after his 6 years, did he ever reach out? Did he ever, I mean, keep money on his books? Did he ever go visit him? Did he ever, anything, like, I mean, any of that? Phone call, anything. Like, I mean, like, I would just want to know that. Like, because if you look at what Corey went through, he got the guard set him up for a fucking Nestle Crunch, my nigga.
Right, and he did double the time of those boys.
Right, because they they were like everybody that was 15 and under was tried as adults but sentenced as juveniles. And Corey was tried as an adult and sentenced as an adult.
Yeah,
so that's why he got that.
He got like had Montez Reyes would never came forward, he would have been still locked up serving his time, probably on death row.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, he only served. Some articles said 12, some articles said 13.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he said 13.
So all right.
I'm taking what he said.
No, right. We can go with that number. So with him doing 13 years, and the rest of the boys were doing 4 to 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a slap on the wrist compared to what he had to go through, and then being it straight to adult jail. No juvenile, no kiddie sentence, no time to warm up, get the feel for things, like, I mean.
How this shit go, how it's supposed to be, like, I mean, and he had a disability, he had a hearing disability, like, I mean, so he was already kind of sheltered a little bit, like, I mean, he was kind of to himself, unless if he knew you, rocked out with you, like, I mean, that was different. But just being thrown in a situation like that where it's survival of the fittest, basically, and you don't know nobody, you can't get, like, you're not getting along with nobody, you ain't in there to make friends, like, you just in there to do your time and come home, but basically thrown to the wolves, like, you know what I mean? And then the guard set him up, and he ended up getting raped, like, you know what I mean? Then, another time, they get him, and they damn near kill him, stab him up. Then he go to another one and they rape him again. Like, he go to another jail and he get raped again. Like, that, to have to go through all of that for some shit you didn't do, bruh. Like, that's why I say the money don't equate. Like, you feel me? The money don't equate to, like,
to the time.
To that time.
You're doing the suffering.
Yeah, like the suffering either. Because then all of the time he spent in solitary confinement. Like, I mean, to himself, because he didn't want to be back in Gym Pop. Because he didn't want to keep getting attacked and done like that. Like, I mean, like, that's crazy. It's crazy. There's no way that money don't erase those memories, those feelings, those scars. It don't take away none of that.
No, I don't. I don't say. I'm not trying to say that it do. I guess my question was, is it? Cause listen. The reason I say that because some people will volunteer to endure that pain and suffering for that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
They if you give some people a choice and be like, listen, I give you $8 million for me to let you lock you up for 12 years, and I mean you just gotta be in jail. I mean, go through all the jail rules and jail
be
jail life,
period.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, and niggas like 8 million, 13 years, and they'll do the math and they'll hop on that.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of people will do a lot of strange things for 8 mil,
right?
Or for whatever he ended up getting.
Right. No, yeah, I'm just doing a number.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, a lot of people will do a lot of strange things for that, but that suffering he went through, bro. Like, I watched the first 3, the first 3 episodes of it, or I mean, whatever you want, the first 3 chapters, however you want to put it. Then when I watched the one that was specifically on his time in, and then his time when he came out, or whatever, the end of it, that jump broke me, bro. That jump broke me, man. Like, in the first episode had me on the edge of my seat, yelling at the TV, and I usually could watch TV and it don't have really no effect on me. I could just take it in, decipher shit, whatever, take away from it what I'm gonna take away from it. But that documentary had me on the edge of my seat from the first episode, from the first one, and it pulled on every nerve, bro. Like, it literally had me mad as fuck. Like, mad as fuck.
Yeah, because, it's, 14, 16 years old. them kids, they know what they doing at that age. You know, it's really ain't no excuse because kids is that age, this day and age is really putting people under.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, that's not no excuse as far as the age goes, but how they was treated, the harshness to something that, you know, they was innocent of. It was just there's no justifying that right there.
Right.
And for it to be the justice system, I mean, that shit is scary, bro. That shit is wicked because these are the people that, you know, we tend to lean on or look to for help, safety, and actual justice.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? So when you get this shit so fucked up, and then, but us being us, as far as, when I say that, I mean black people.
Right.
We know we get the short end of the stick when it comes to that.
Yep.
That whole boys in blue thing.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole legal gang out here. I mean, they can kill us legally. I mean, detain us legally. Like, I mean, falsely accuse us legally. It's, you know,
the list goes on.
Yeah. So it's more so, I guess, installing fear than it is giving us the security.
Because that's what they quote unquote, we're here to protect and serve. But you ain't here to protect or serve us. Like, yeah, you could say we're being extreme by saying that they don't protect us. You can say because of these situations or because of these conversations that we have about cops killing young black teens or black people, period, and
Because
getting
it
away
happens
with
so
it.
often.
Like, you feel me? You could say that, oh, we only isolate these incidents as the topic of conversation. But when you look at the ratio, or when you look, not even the ratio, when you just look at it, like, period, it's not happening to no other communities. It's not happening in no other communities the way it's happening to us. It's not looked at or treated. Our people are not looked at and treated the same way as the other communities. Point blank, period. Like, how can you blame us for talking about or speaking up about things that affect us, that things that are happening to us? Like, when we're coming up in school, they say, if somebody picking on you, or if somebody bullying you, you gotta speak up. Or if something bothers you, you gotta speak up. Because don't nobody know if something bothers you if you don't speak up, right? This shit bothers us, B. I don't know how much more blatant you want us to put it. This shit bothers us, B. We don't sit at home and say, oh, that's cool, that happened. Nah, B. This shit bothers us. Because that could be my uncle. That could be my brother. God forbid, that could be my son. God forbid any of that. It could be my uncle, my brother, my son, my father, if he was still alive. Like, that could be anybody that I know and love. That could be anybody. If you put yourself in our shoes and ask yourself, are we being dramatic? Ask yourself if that was happening to your cousin, your brother, your uncle, your aunts, your moms, your sisters. How would you feel? Would it become outrage then? If the shoe was on the other foot, if these officers was a bunch of black men, a bunch of Hispanic men walking around just killing your race and getting away with it. And yeah, we know not all of them get away with it. We understand that. That's cool. But most of them get away with it. They get away with it. If you were in our shoes, how would you feel? Ask yourself that. Honestly, ask yourself that. Don't put no twist on it. Take it situation, literal situation for situation. Put yourself in it and wear that situation with no cutting the corners, no trying to change it up, no I would have done. No, this is what happened. How would you feel?
So Let me just put this out here since you know, I ain't really touched upon this. The fact that in 2002, you know, Montez Reyes, who was serving the 33-year convicted murders, he could not be tried for the rape of her name right here, Trisha Millay or Miley. Yeah, the statute of limitations is already expired.
They got a statute of limitation law in New York. If it's over 7 years, and you could literally walk into the department and confess to it. If it's a sexual assault or if it's an assault, if it ain't murder.
Statute of limitations basically apply almost everything but murder.
But murder, you could do anything and walk up in there and say it was you that did it. A whole written out. This is how I did it. What I did. Who I did it to, da da da. You could find the evidence here. You could give them the whole fucking case. If it ain't murder, they can't do shit to you. They can't do shit to you. And the fact that even though he came up after 13 years of Corey being in, and he confessed and he set Corey free. I mean, because they ended up they met on Rikers Island and they ended up fighting and everything over the TV in a room or whatever. But even though that happened and they seen each other in this 13 years at this point, even though you let that man free, bruh, outside of his freedom, outside of him getting the money and being able to live his life right now, well, I guess that's all that matters. I guess I just answered my own question, like, you feel me? Because I was gonna ask him, like, why not sooner? You feel me? Like, why not sooner? Because I guess he could set that man free and not have to deal with nothing else and just say, fuck it, yeah, I did it, let that man go, and he could live the rest of his life as a free man. So that's kind of the win-win for him for confessing. He don't got to do no extra time. The win for him, for Corey, because now he can go out and do what he got to do. But it still don't make that shit right, though.
No, it absolutely don't. It just looked like that Montez Reyes became religious. He found faith. And he basically gained a heart. Like, I mean, throughout them years of him, I mean, not taking the blame, he was still out there killing people, doing crazy shit.
Wild shit.
I mean, he was still corrupt. So he had a chance to sit down and evaluate and come to terms with what he did and realize that, you know, nobody should be doing his time, and he was man enough to admit that and come forward. I question, I wonder if this dude did that knowing that the statute of limitations would apply and they couldn't convict him, and or he got some murders that he's not tied to, that they tied someone else to, that he's not going to even confess about.
Oh yeah. Most likely, like, cause you got to think that, I mean, he was smart enough to keep his mouth closed and not say nothing about that shit all of this time. So you gotta understand, cause from the interviews I was seeing, I mean, they were saying that he went and talked to the priest or whatever. It was confession time. He asked the priest what she do or whatever, and that was part of the boost to get him to go and, confess that he did it and it wasn't Corey and the other four. But before he did that, you gotta know that he stopped in somewhere, or he already knew because he already had a life of crime. Like, hey, yo, if I confess to this shit, they ain't gonna do nothing to me. So extra incentive, like, I could do this. I'll go through red tape because I'll go through whatever y'all want me to go through because it ain't nothing. Like, you feel me? I ain't gonna get nothing extra out of it. Like, y'all can't do nothing to me at this point. I'm doing my bid for this, and that's a rape charge. That's an assault charge. It's already passed, well passed. Like,
not facts. I just want to point out the fact that, that's why the guys were incarcerated and when they got out, I ain't gonna say all except for Raymond Santana, but Raymond Santana was the only one to go back to jail. after getting out, right?
Yeah, Kevin said he did some extra time too on some drug charges.
Okay, Kevin did too.
Yeah.
So that's prior to them getting the money and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was before they had their suit and all that.
The lawsuit.
Yeah.
But Kevin Richardson, Yusuf Salon, and Raymond Santana, they all obtained a GED and associate's degree while serving their time and shit. So I just want to point out that they ain't let some of the time go to waste. They applied themselves somewhere,
right?
And put some energy, somewhere positive,
right.
Seeing that they was going through so much negative,
especially because they knew that they had to start preparing themselves for when they got out. They probably was all looking at like how old they're gonna be when they get out, and already knowing like I'm still gonna have some years left to live, so I might as well.
Well, anybody except for Corey should have known they was gonna see D.
Oh yeah,
that little 8-9 years and shit sentence, and 14 years old and 16 years old, like. Yeah, by the time they get out 24, 25 years old, they still got a life to live.
Yeah.
It was Corey that, to do 13 years, at 16 years old, get out 29 years old, bruh.
Yeah, at that point, most people are already in their career, moving deeper into their career, already got their families, or starting their families, and got kind of life where they want it to go, or heading down the road to where they want to be. And he coming out basically like, yo, I'm just starting.
Right, and then he had to start, because when he got out, they didn't just get the money.
It took years.
It took years, right?
Yeah.
For them to get their money. So, 2002, he got out, right? That's when Montez Reyes confessed. He got out in 2002. They didn't get their lawsuit in 2014.
Yeah.
So, 12 years of just out, broke, down, digging the dirt. They're digging the dirt because they wasn't exonerated. They had all these. Oh, they did get exonerated. They did get exonerated. So, all right. So they would have funded a job within the 12 years. But the time that Dad got out and Corey was still in, the other 4 guys is having to live.
Check that box. They gotta explain. They can't work in certain spots. They can't stand next to another felon. They can't. It's just so much shit they can't do. They can't work at like a McDonald's, or if they do, they gotta work in the back. They can't be at the cash register. Like they can't
work the same shift as fellas.
Like all the wild shit. And then when you listen to them talk in the Vlad interview, they're like, yo, the shit you gotta go through in jail, as with the charge that they had over their head, the only charge worse than that is child molestation. You feel me? So it's child molestation and then rape. Those two, like, you getting your ass kicked all the time in jail. Like, you going through hell in jail. Like, and they're in there innocent, going through this shit. Like, you feel me? And or always got to prove that they're innocent. Always got to tell people that they're innocent. Or in the case of Corey, you being done dirty. Like, they're trying to get rid of you. Like, guards literally coming in like, yo, bro, you being here is a problem for the rest of the community. Like, it's a problem for the rest of this jail community. Like, nobody wants you here, bro. They'd rather see you dead. And they came in there and offered that man, yo, you want to come out of solitary or you want to stay in here? You want to go back to Gym Pop? Oh, no, I'm going to stay in here, bro. Like, I don't want no parts out there. I'm going to do my time in here. Because he already knew, like, once you get out there, it's a wrap, bro. They're gonna, because if they off them, they're gonna be in the paper for offing them. They're gonna be the most popular person in the jail, like all of that other shit, like all of that wild shit that come with it.
I wonder how them dudes felt, the CEOs, the prisoners, and anybody that did wrong towards these kids or these boys, young men and men.
And then find out that they was innocent.
But
I guarantee you. Them, especially the ones, the guards that was setting them up and all that, setting up Corey, they don't feel no type of way, bro.
Think so?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think they still feel like Linda. They still feel like Trump. They still feel like, yo, we did the right thing, because I don't care what they say now, they still guilty. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Shit is crazy, bro. Shit is crazy. Shit is definitely wild beans, bro. I can't, like, I just can't wrap my head around it, bro. I just can't. The parents is, I mean, not all of the parents, but I mean, for, what was his name?
Oh, which one?
Antron.
Oh, Antron, yeah.
Antron father for making his son confess. You feel me? And what's the other dude that left his mom? And what's his
Raymond Santana.
Yeah, Raymond father for choosing work. Understand you gotta pay your bills. You gotta do what you gotta do as a father, as a parent. Period. But at what point do you leave your kids there? Like, I mean, and I know I wasn't an adult at that time, so I don't know what it was like to be unemployed or to get a job that's actually good back then. I don't. But I know me right now, I don't give a fuck about a job. If my child is being interrogated over some shit that they didn't do and they swear and they putting their life on it, they didn't do it, I'm right there with my child. I'm right there with my child. Even if my child did do it, I'm right there with my child because I'm supporting my child through it all. I'm going to let them know if they did it, they're wrong, but I'm right there with my child. Period. I'm not leaving my child's side. I'm making sure that my child gets the proper treatment. They're going to treat my child right. I don't threaten me with what you got to threaten me with. I don't give a fuck. As long as my child come up out of this shit the right way, I'm good.
That's it. Facts.
That's crazy, yo.
Facts, bro.
It's crazy.
Man, that shit is beyond crazy that you can even put your child in that predicament. Like, you know, I don't want to judge Antron father for what he did, or even Raymond father for even leaving. But you had to wonder what the hell was going through their mind.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I mean, yeah, we only could imagine. But like I said, all bets is on my child at that point. All bets, if you telling me you innocent, we gonna prove your innocence. I'm gonna go broke, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to prove your innocence. Drag me under the mud, I don't give a fuck. Drag me through the mud, I don't give a fuck. If my child is innocent, when my child is proven innocent, I'm gonna get my dirty ass up and I'm gonna laugh at you. And then we're gonna come back for what we gotta come back for.
No, facts. You know what I mean? I just wanted to touch bases on, I mean, where are they at now? Like, I mean, what the guys, what they got their hands involved in today?
Oh yeah,
and shit like that. I mean, throw that out there. So
yeah, let's shed some positive light on
right.
this.
We've been talking about the negative, and I mean what they went through and shit. So you know but collectively were awarded $41 million. You know what I mean? Between the five of them. There's not too much on Antron. He chose to stay out the limelight. He really don't. I mean,
move all types.
Yeah. So he lived in Georgia and shit like that. So I mean, he out there. That's all that they pretty much had on him as far as today. Kevin Richardson lives in Jersey with his wife and shit and his children.
He had a clothing line, I know that.
That's Raymond Santana got a clothing line. But Kevin Richardson do a lot of public speaking and shit like that. He a motivational speaker. So is Yusuf Salam. Yusuf Salam, that dude is a father of 10. Yeah. Dude, you know what I mean?
He's gonna make up for all that.
Yeah. He lives in Georgia too. Arthur, an advocate for reforms to the criminal justice system. Raymond Santana is as well. He lives in Georgia as well with his teenage daughter and shit. And he has a clothing company, right? Park Medicine, NYC clothing company. You know, his partner and former runner of athletics, Rashid Young. I'm not sure who that was, but
just give me out of fact.
Right, just give me out of fact. He sounded like he was important, so I'm like, Rashid Young. The viewers might know who that is.
Right.
Oh, Rashid. He worked for Rashid. Yeah, he worked for Rashid. Yeah, he launched that clothing line in 2018. Corey Wise is the only one still in New York.
Right.
Be a public speaker as well. An
Yep.
advocate and for criminal justice reform as well. He worked with the Innocent Project. In 2015, the Colorado Innocence Project was renamed to the Corey Wise Innocence Project in honor of the $190,000 that he donated. So he put his money where his mouth is.
Yeah. Shout out to them, man. God bless them, man.
Absolutely.
And anybody that's doing time that,
is wrongfully convicted. Yeah.
Right, yo. God bless y'all, man. I hope, everything works out for the betterment. I know you don't get the time back, but I hope you get out with enough time to still live life and you get something out of that time. Like, you feel me? I hope you get rewarded the same way they got rewarded with some money to be able to live your life at the fullest that you can.
Facts. And I see them movies make you think of, the movies like Life, Shawshank Redemption, shit like that. And the joke that's in those type of movies is, when they get to jail and they're like, "What you do?" You're like, "I ain't do nothing. I'm innocent."
Right.
And right. Yeah. That's what the inmate always say to them, like, join the club. You're all innocent.
Right. Well, listen, man. I need y'all to take away from this episode, man. An injustice is an injustice. It don't matter your race. It don't matter your gender. If it's an injustice, it's an injustice. But justice must be served to the right people, man. The right people. That's what justice is supposed to be there for. The people are supposed to be convicted for the crimes that they committed, not the crimes that you can place on them, not the crime that you are rushing to get a conviction on. So those who are in law enforcement, do your job the right way. Unless if you know that without a shadow of a doubt, this person committed that crime, don't just pin that shit, man. It's on you just as much as it's on the people that's committing the crime. They gotta serve the time, but you gotta make sure you're getting the right people, man. Make sure you're convicting the right people. Don't just be throwing bodies in the jails because it make money or make you look good on your track record, man. At the end of the day, serve justice. Don't just serve us. Don't just serve us time. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. I am Coolie Maine. You can find me everywhere under the name of Coolie Maine. If you can't find me there, you can find me anywhere under Grown Ups Talk.
Facts. You already know the motto. Like, share, and follow. If you didn't do it, do it. Tell a friend and do that shit again. This your boy AK the Chief signing out, checking off. You know what I'm saying? You can find me anywhere Grown Ups Talk. If you can't find me there, you can definitely find me anywhere Grown Ups Talk. And I want to give, a shout out to my barber. I don't usually do it because I let Coolie rock out with his barber and shit. But shout out to Blaze, at All Star Lineup, 450 Forest Road, West Haven, Connecticut. So check him out.
Word. Yeah, man. And y'all know what it is, man. Talk to us grown or don't talk to us at all.